I'm really, I'm sitting here thinking, so since before COVID, looking at my life and the things that I wanted to change, where did I see myself? You know, they ask you that 5 year plan. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What is it that you want for yourself? What do you want for your family? Being able to honestly look in the mirror and do a self evaluation is not always the easiest thing. But when you take the veil off, so to speak, and you look at yourself in your raw state, you know, and okay, Ebony, what problems do we have? What do you want to do with your life? Since the age of 15, I have always had someone else to think about. Why? Because I got pregnant at the age of 14, had my son when I was 15 years old. And thank God I had my mother there. Barbara Jean, and my mom. For those of you that know, my mom passed away March 8th, 2022. But I am so blessed to have had the mom that I had, because I wasn't the only teenage mom that I knew. Personally, yes, the only one, but I had gone to school with another young lady that was in a higher grade than me that had, you know, she was pregnant, and she was able to stay into high school. So they didn't move me out. I didn't go to an alternative school or anything like that. I was able to finish school. Although my senior year, talking to my mother, I know my mom was working and she was supporting me and my son. I wanted to help. I wanted to contribute, because you know what? I just made your load heavier because I had a child. And so I talked to her. I wanted to go to college. So she agreed, like, okay, if that's what you want to do, it's your senior year. I did drop out of high school, studied for the GED, passed it, and I was able to, the same year that I would have been graduating, I enrolled into college. So didn't miss a beat. Enrolled into a 2 year college to get my associate's degree as a medical assistant. I knew enough to know that the medical field was a lucrative field to be in. I was going to have steady work. Unfortunately, there's always going to be people sick. So people getting injured. So you're going to need medical professionals. So I got my associate's degree. My older sister went with me. We enrolled together. And it was a 2 year. Like I said, I got my associate's degree as a medical assistant. They're always going to need medical assistants in doctor's offices, clinics, urgent cares, things like that, laboratories. So I knew I'd be able to get a job. I was able to get a job at one of the hospitals that I did my externship. So when we went through the phlebotomy portion of our curriculum towards the end, we had to get 100 successful sticks in school before they let us go out in the real world. So there was a hospital, and I'll say in Dayton, Ohio. They have since torn the hospital down. One of my first job, Good Samaritan Hospital, I was in the laboratory. My sister went with me as well. We did EKGs and we did the lab. So it was split up. Half of I can't remember the time frame because this was back in like 97. Half of the time that we were there doing our externship, we was in EKG. Then from EKG, we switched to the laboratory. Great, awesome. I was blessed to get hired. Once I graduated, took the registry, because I had to take the registry to be a registered medical assistant, not a certified. I was registered. I remember us studying for the registry, passed, got my certificate, had my diploma, my degree rather, with the first little gold seal, 1997. And I got hired at Good Samaritan Hospital in the laboratory. So I was hired as a diagnostic tech. I worked in the laboratory. So I drew blood. I did EKGs. Got trained to do specimen processing. Cross-trained, got trained to do microbiology. That was one of the best jobs that I had. I had my son. When I graduated from college, I was pregnant with my second child. So I had my son when I was 15. I had my daughter when I was 20. And then my third child I had when I was 21. Those are the only 3 kids that I have. So when I graduated, I was pregnant with my daughter. I did not tell the hospital when I interviewed that I was pregnant, because I knew that had they known, they wouldn't have hired me. I wasn't showing yet. That's none of your business. You can't discriminate, but there's ways around certain things. So I didn't say anything. I ended up working there 5.5 years. Had the best time, worked with some of the best guys and gals that was in San Antonio, in Dayton, Ohio. And then from there, I progressed on. Now, fast forward, we're into 2024. We've gone through COVID. Some people still have, PTSD because I have never lived through a pandemic. An epidemic, yes. The difference between a pandemic and an epidemic, you can look it up, the differences between the two and the effect of it. But this is the first time anybody that was alive, probably, before that, the last large, pandemic had been a long time. Now, I know we've had swine flu and things like that, H1N1. But we wasn't on lockdown. I had never lived during a time where people was on lockdown, where you saw stores, restaurants shut down, grocery stores only letting in a certain number of people in a time. Certain people come out, they'll let that number of people go in. Like, I had never, single file, mask, gloves, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, tissue being non-existent because people are stockpiling and things like that. My husband ordered 200 rolls of toilet tissue from, I think it was Wish. We never saw it. I'm sure somebody got that. But then we saw, like, there was a UPS truck that was in San Antonio that got into, or a Amazon factory or warehouse or something that caught fire. And you could see rolls of toilet tissue. I remember us saying, like, man, that's probably our order right there. We never received it. He never was able to get a refund. But that was the first time any of us had ever lived during a time where people couldn't go to work. People had no place to go to work. You had to stay in your house. You had to sanitize even more so than what you did before. That was a very pivotal moment. Pivotal moment in people's lives. I'm not editing that out. But so much happened to me, as I'm sure whoever's watching this. As you go through life and things happen, your mind starts to change. For me, my mom passed away and it was not COVID related. I may talk about that in another video. But my mom had end-stage renal disease, which was kidney disease, and she was on dialysis. So my mom did not pass away because of something that was COVID related. But it did slow down her getting a kidney transplant because they was leaving the OR open for emergencies and then with infection control and things like that. We're all dealing with things that we had never dealt with before. So it was a lot of high anxiety. Since then, I'll say I was in a depression from the time my mom passed away up until December of 2023. Now, here it is. Today's date is November 21st, 2024. I had been through so much, before leading up to my mom passing away. I got pregnant twice in 2021 after 22 years of no oopsies. I'll probably get into a video, as to why, because health and wellness and things that I changed in my diet made me fertile. My nephew was murdered November 7th, 2021. Then this day in 2021, I was 8 weeks pregnant in my right tube. Ectopic pregnancy, ruptured, had to be rushed into the hospital, into the OR or whatever to have surgery. Then my husband and I wanted to do IVF because then I became obsessed with having a baby. Now I didn't have these hormones in my body that I hadn't had for so long. I wanted to have a baby, so we decided to do IVF. We did the transfer March 3rd, 2022. If anyone's interested in that, I can record another video getting more in depth into that, because that was a whole different experience. Me as a nurse, I didn't specialize in infertility. I heard of the procedure, knew how they did it, but to actually be going through it, if anyone is watching this video and you're interested in knowing exactly how my process went, for me and my husband, I will be, happy recording a video for that. But we did the transfer March 3rd. My mom and I was pregnant. My mom died March 8th. I ended up miscarrying that. After that, I said, that was it. We're done with that. But I remember bits and pieces of 2022. I remember bits and pieces of 2023. Details, not really, just robot, go to work, come home, husband, dog, whatever. Anything else that I've done, really, I don't remember. Just because I was in a fog. I was a baby. My mom and I, we were this close. My mother's the reason that I moved to Texas. I was able to support my mom emotionally when my grandmother died, which was her mother. But I really didn't take the time. My mom was the type of person where she held stuff in, so she was strong for everybody else. Now that I'm mourning the death of her, now I'm thinking back, like, I know, of course, my mom was mourning. My aunts was mourning. My uncles were mourning. Of course, because our family was close. My grandmother passing away in March of 2012, which coincidentally, my mom died 10 years later. My grandmother passing away was the first death that we had in our immediate family since probably my Uncle Ronnie died, and I might have been like 5 years old. So now fast forward, to, because I was like 83, 84. Yeah, 83, 84. Now fast forward to 2012, my grandmother dies. 10 years later, we've got my nephew was murdered, my mom died, right? So we hadn't really had that much. Oh, and in between that, my Uncle Billy passed away in 2020, not COVID related as well. But we hadn't had that much immediate family, like my grandmother's offspring, pass away since my Uncle Ronnie. So it was like my grandmother died, my Uncle Billy died in August of 2020. Then my Uncle Jimmy died, which was my grandmother's oldest son. I think he passed away November, might have been 2020, 2021. My nephew got killed. He was 21, about to be 22, which is crazy in the year age-wise, and then year that it happened. And then my mom dying, and then me with my husband. It's crazy. But all of that leads you to mindset change. And I say that to give the background because we're all going through something. Anybody that watches this video, have you lost a loved one? Be it a relative, best friend? Absolutely. There's not one person on the face of this earth that can honestly say, I have not had one person that I know or love die. When things like that happen, chemicals change in your brain. Me, my mom, we had spoke about so many things that we had planned on doing that we did not get to do before she died. And it's, by God's grace and strength that I'm even able to record this video without breaking down and crying. I've cried so much, and it took me so long to get to this point to where I could actually talk about it, because now I'm to a point to where I want to help other people. I'm a nurse, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a niece, I'm a cousin, I'm a best friend, I'm a confidant, I'm an educator, I'm a mentor, I'm a coach. There's so many layers to me, and I've always kept it within the family, kept it within my profession. Now I'm progressing. I'm 47 years old, and I'm to the point now to where my brain is changing so much. I'm looking at myself in the mirror like, who are you? Never at any time did I ever feel like I wanted to have a business where I'm honestly taking the time to educate others and to help other people. And this is what this first video is really going in depth about. I'm going to make sure that I don't make this too long. I'm going to break it up into bits and pieces. But if anyone is interested in learning how to do something different through my story, there's so many things that I'm learning how to do, because I'll tell you right off rip, I don't work full-time as a nurse anymore. Do I want to work full-time as a nurse? A small part of me wants to continue my nursing career, go on and get my RN BSN. possibly even a nurse practitioner. But that is not what I want to do, because I want to make money remotely, regardless to where I am in the world, and still be able to connect with people, still be able to make money. I don't want to be attached to a brick and mortar. I don't want to be attached to clocking in for someone else. I don't want to be attached to, this is the time that you have to be here. This is the time you can go to lunch. This is the time you can clock out. You want to take a vacation? How many hours of PTO have I acquired so far? How many hours have accrued? And then you only have so many hours that you can use. If you don't use them, you lose them, because you can only roll over X amount of hours for the next year. Get tired of that. Meanwhile, you're looking at these CEOs, you're looking at these COOs going on these lavish vacations. I was always the one that loved working the holidays, because guess what? Give me that money. Give me that time and a half. I didn't celebrate the holidays anyway. So really, not unless, my family, we had something planned, or if we was going on vacation, usually didn't, because you work for like I'm Rihanna up in here, because you have bills to pay. And I was okay with that, because you know what? I did have days off. It wasn't until I became a nurse that I worked. The more I worked, like, okay, you got more money. But at the same time, you start making a certain dollar amount, you start jumping into a different tax bracket, and Uncle Sam is going to get his. So at the same time, it's like, well, yo, I'm working, and crazy don't need to be working that much, because you don't see all of it. My kids are grown. I don't have any dependents. So I'd rather have my money throughout the year instead of waiting for a tax return once a year. I've never been the type of person to get $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 in tax return. I don't know how the ones that do it, that did it, but I never did. I think the most I ever received in a tax return was probably like maybe $5,300, $5,400 as a tax return, and that's when my kids were younger. But anyway, so now my mind is changing. Once I got out of this depression after the first stages of my mom passing away, I said, yeah, we need to change. I want to take back my time. So I started doing research online. How can I supplement my income? How can I make money without sacrificing time? Because I had worked 93 hours a pay period. I had worked 95. And then I was telling my husband, like, you know what? I wonder if I could do 100 hours in a pay period. Did it. 12 days straight. 13 days straight. A lot of the providers that I work with be like, girl, when are you going to take a day off? Like, I'm just doing it just to see if I could do it. Did it. Was over it. Don't want to live like that anymore. You start getting older in life, and if it happens to you when you're younger, that's a beautiful thing. But for me, it didn't happen until after my mom passed away, after I got out of my depression, where I started thinking and paying attention to how other people were living. How are people making money? It's not for everybody, but for those that are interested, I'm talking to you, because guess what? They're doing it. I'm working on it and getting it done. You can do it too. But there is people that are out there that are working, and they're recording videos, and they're educating, and they're coaching, and they're mentoring. They're stepping out of their comfort zone. They're stepping out of their box. Tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Being a nurse? Absolutely. It's a great field. Very lucrative. Can you become rich? Can you pay off debt? I mean, it just all depends on how you work it. But if you find yourself working, you get up, get ready, go to work, come home, shower, eat dinner, go to bed, get up, get ready, go to work, come home, take a shower, eat dinner, go to bed. You do that routine so long. What quality of life are you having? Not much. Typically, a nurse will work 3/12s every other weekend. But usually, we have opportunities to work more shifts. You have bills. Inflation is going up, but your pay is not going up. So you have to work more. How can you fill in that gap? And we're talk about your religious belief, your spiritual obligations, what your heart really, really desires. How do you have time for that when you have to work? Simplify your life? Yeah, you can. But then what are you sacrificing? So you have to be able to put things into perspective. You have to be able to look at yourself and say, okay, what exactly do my family need? What do I need? We all need God, regardless to what your beliefs are. You need God first. You have to put God first. Matthew 6:33. Keep on seeking then the kingdom and its righteousness. Where it says keep on first seeking the kingdom and its righteousness, and all these other things will be added to you. That doesn't get put into perspective for a lot of people at the same time. A lot of times it doesn't happen earlier in life. Sometimes it happens later in life. You have to get some bumps and bruises before you start realizing, yeah, I do need a relationship with God. Yeah, I do need clarity. I need peace. I need real comfort. I need for sure answers. If you guys want to know anything else about my religious beliefs, we could talk about that. But I've thought about all of these things since my mom passed away. It's like I always had my mom there to lean on, but now she's not here, and now I'm the real adult. I have adult children, but I'm now the mom. I'm now Big Mama because my great grandmother is gone. My grandmother is gone. My mom is gone. It's me now. That comes with a lot of responsibility. But guess what? There are ways that you can supplement your income and you can make it easy. You can learn a lot and put that knowledge to use so that it works for you. Educating yourself. I'm doing it. I've done it. I'm still doing it. I'm still within my first year of being a nurse entrepreneur. You have to make mistakes. Unfortunately, you have to have failures before you can have success because you learn from your mistakes. I've made them. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here and I'm watching other people because when I join businesses, when I pay for programs to educate myself and you get, they put you in these communities and you're seeing people's wins. And then you look at yourself, well, at least I know I did. When I'm not getting the same results as other people, I'm wondering, what am I doing wrong? You hear about financial blocks. You hear how you're blocking your blessings. You hear about how you have a misappropriate, misappropriate, because I'm going to say inappropriate, misappropriate, because it's not correct, relationship with money. You're blocking your blessings because your relationship with money is not in the right category. I'll say first and foremost, I was not raised to be financially literate. My credit is not the greatest. My credit is in the toilet. Has been in the toilet. I've pulled it out, put it back in the toilet, flushed it, pulled it back. You know what I mean? Found it, got a plumber, all of this stuff to find where is my credit. I flushed it down the toilet. Where did it go? But you're still alive. So you can make changes. And so that's why I'm here, because guess what? Finding a group of people, finding your niche, finding your audience. And me, since I've always been the type of person where whether I was a medical assistant or I was a nurse, I work in multiple areas. I love to be multifaceted. And so this is where my problem comes in at, because when you say, who are you targeting? Everybody. You can't target everybody. In some way, shape, or form, I do want to get to that point to where I am, but having to buckle down and focus on, okay, what do you want to do? Are you providing a service that serves a need, that solves a problem? Absolutely, because guess what? We all imperfect, so there's problems all around. And then what audience? So I'm narrowing it down. How am I making my money? Because I'll tell you, July 18th, 2024, I quit my full-time job as a nurse, and I have not worked full-time since. Has it been a struggle? Absolutely. I have a great husband that is helping me because he sees that I have knowledge, I've acquired skills, and he believes in me, and he sees that, yeah, this could absolutely work out for you. I don't want to be filthy rich. Whatever blessings come my way, I'm open to it. I'm receiving it. But I know for sure that I don't want to work at a brick and mortar clocking in for someone else. I have a lot of experience in a lot of areas, and I'm learning and I'm applying, and I'm able to show and help other people do the same. So I'm taking the initiative to put myself out there, knowing that I might not be taken seriously. Remaining humble, remaining honest and open, having an open mind, open to criticism. It's going to be negative, feedback and things like that. We're putting all of that aside because, first of all, I ain't no punk, I ain't no sucker. So hearing the negativity, that won't bother me. The thing is I want to be taken seriously because I'm 47. I've been through a lot, as everybody else, but my life experience, I'm sharing that. So I am a nurse entrepreneur. Quick background, I'm originally from Brooklyn, New York. Was born and raised. I've lived in Ohio. Now I'm in Texas. Sky's the limit on where I'm going to go from here. But I don't work full-time as a nurse, and I'm here to show you and to get the foundational building blocks in place to let you know that if you are stuck in your job, if something has happened in your life and you're feeling like, I need a change, then I want to talk to you. So yeah, I could target women who, were teenage moms. I would prefer to be talking to someone who's mature enough to understand that life is serious. The choices that we make do have consequences, either way, good or bad. But if you are at a point to where you're tired of working for someone else, you're tired of that cycle that I mentioned about getting up in the morning, getting ready for work, going to work, working, coming home, getting undressed, showering, eating dinner, going to bed, waking up the next day, getting ready for work, going to work, coming home, getting undressed, shower, dinner, bed. You get tired of that, then I want to talk to you. So be it nurses, because, hey, people relate to situations. I don't work full-time as a nurse. And I know a lot of nurses that probably won't pay me any attention, whether you know me personally because you work with me or not. Oh, I'm happy. I'm a nurse practitioner. I'm a doctor. I'm a physician's assistant. I'm an RN. I'm an LPN. I'm a whatever. I'm fine. I'm fine in my life. Okay, then that's fine. Hats off to you. That's not who this video is for. But if you are at a point in your life where you're tired of working all the time and you want to be able to make money, because guess what? We all have knowledge that we can monetize. That's the thing that I had to realize, because since I was so programmed to just going to work and clocking in, I didn't think about anything beyond that because that was my reality. That's how it had always been. But when you start doing research and you start watching videos, you start listening to different types of audios of people that are millionaires, people that are entrepreneurs, and you listen to their story and the things that they've been through and how they educated themselves and how they failed, how they finally became successful, the things that they did in their life, how they monetized, and then you start thinking of yourself like, you know what? I can do it too. Who says I can't? I'm still breathing. Do I got a pulse? Yep. Absolutely. You can do it. So that's what I'm here for. How was I able to quit my job full-time July 18th, 2024? Because of digital products, because of digital marketing, because of attraction marketing, because of affiliate marketing, because of the things that I learned. Now, the first program that I invested in was $10,000. Not everybody has that kind of money. My husband gave me $5,200 to put down. Not everybody has that, but that's what I did. Being a business owner, learning about these things, you're going to have to, my computer keeps going to sleep. You're going to have to invest in yourself. It could be one large lump sum. It could be a little at a time. Everybody is different. I learned a lot. And I still have not completed all of the educational modules. A lot of these things are self-paced, which is what I appreciated about it, versus going to school when you have people that are breathing down your neck, and you're in school, you're in class, you got 8 weeks, you have to get through this. This is the syllabus, this is the outline, this is what you have to do. You have these quizzes, you have these tests, and you have these midterms. Da, 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 da. You know what I mean? Now we have online educational courses that you pay for, is self-paced, and it just all depends on your drive, your time, how you're able to do it. But if you want to change your life, if you want to change the trajectory of what's going on, and you want to change your future, you can do it. People find time to do what it is they want to do. I'll say that again. People find time to do the things that they want to do. So once you realize that, yeah, this is what I want to do, this is what I need to do, this is what I'm going to do, you're able to do it. So that's what I'm here to say. And I'm working on several things. I have had my YouTube page since 2015, I believe. But I only used it to watch videos, maybe movies, music videos, vlogs, because people vlogs. I know YouTube is what kept me going a lot during the pandemic, being in the house so much, besides the arts and crafts that I've done. I started doing during COVID. My husband was almost killed in a motorcycle accident. So March 24th, 2020, that's when everything was shutting down in San Antonio and things like that. I wasn't able to go with him to the hospital. So once he got discharged, I had to wait outside the hospital, couldn't go inside. You communicate via phone. They brought him out to me. But I had to stop working and take care of him because he had broke his tibia and his fibula, which is the two bones in your lower leg. He shattered his ankle. So they had to reconstruct his ankle, reconstruct his foot, and secure that bone. So he's got rods, plates, and screws in his left lower limb. Homeboy was in the military. Didn't get injured like that. Was on the front line during 9/11. You know what I mean? Didn't break any bones like that. He done been through so much. My husband been struck by lightning. That's a whole nother story. But yeah, it's like, so being on, his motorcycle, his brakes locked up. He fishtailed and flipped 600-pound bike, crushed his leg, threw him forward, all of this stuff on the highway here, San Antonio, Texas, 410, heading to work. It's crazy how things happen at the moment that was happening. So I was only able to get to him after they scraped him up off the highway. Didn't get to go to the hospital at all because it's a pandemic. We shutting stuff down. Wasn't nobody letting me come and, come with him and all of that stuff. So that's fine. But we got through that. But just all of the things that happened leading up to today, I've been working on building my business, building my brand. Who am I? What am I seeking to accomplish? Who am I seeking to attract? And so it's a lot of people out there in the world. A lot of people use social media. And so now I'm to the point to where it's been a year in and I'm still not where I want to be financially, but I have learned a lot. I am in businesses where people are making 5 figures a month. And so these are my goals. My goal is to replace my annual income monthly. So I'm here sharing that because I have multiple mentors, because it's good to have multiple people that are working in the industry that are doing and accomplishing the things that you're interested in doing. It's good to surround yourself with people that are actually accomplishing the things that you want to do. So my first mentor, RN, and I think she had her master's. She was able to quit her full-time and her part-time job within like 8-9 months. Of starting her own digital business. And so that's what I'm working towards. And so I'm here to share that because guess what? I've already, July 18th, I stopped working full time. I still work here and there. It's a lot of work, but I feel accomplished, and it is stressful. Because you're putting yourself out there. I know people do things faceless, but actually showing your face, especially when you're used to being so private, it's a transition. It's a mental switch, but it can be done. And so that's what I'm doing. So if anybody is watching this video, I'm not tech savvy. So I know like there's fancy thumbnails that you can have on your videos and stuff like that. I'll get to that point. And it's beautiful to see the growth, the development, the changing, the moving forward, right? The progression of a person through their journey. And I'll tell you, start documenting things in your life. If you have something that's on your heart, on your mind, start recording and talking about it, because that's exactly what I'm doing. And you'll succeed being consistent, showing up, because people start looking for you. And so that's what I'm doing. I don't have probably any subscribers to my YouTube page, but it's like, I do have the credentials. And so you have to put yourself out there in order for people to start to see you and to recognize you and to know. I want to grow my community. So if you're seeing this video, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you like this video. Drop some thoughts down in the comments. Let me know what you feel about this video. And this is exactly, because I'm going to give you, before I end this video, and you guys see the next video, I'm going to let you know some of the things that I'm going to be sharing. How you can supplement your income and have multiple side hustles. And get to the point to where, depending on how you work it, based on your situation, based on your time, your availability, how you can make your side hustle your main hustle. Can you imagine yourself having your side hustles bring in more money than your main hustle? Imagine yourself downgrading from a full-time job secularly, brick and mortar, to part-time, very part-time, to completely transitioning and working for yourself. It just all depends on what you're interested in. But in me, I never knew that I was interested in digital products. I never knew that I was into digital marketing, attraction marketing, affiliate marketing. Never knew that. I've seen other people making money, but I never really thought about it. Why? Because I worked. Now my mind has shifted. So I have been learning so much. And I'm here to share that with you. And it's education. So I have online courses that you can take. I have high ticket and I have low ticket, because not everybody can afford the real expensive, but you get a higher return. Some things is fitting into your budget. And so I'm all over the place. I'm all over the place. It's so much that I'm interested in. I'm all over the place. And so I'm here to share those things with you. So if you're interested in high ticket, if you're into health and wellness, if you're into, bigger returns, working less, but getting more, I got that for you. I'll put that link for my website, which is Ebony Digital Group. There's a free webinar. You can sign up. Make sure your name is spelled correctly. Make sure your email address is correct. And you'll get access to a free 90-minute webinar that sets everything out for that. So that'll be the first thing. Then I have Digital Boss Academy. That's another educational program where you are able to learn at your own pace. And it's the ticket is cheaper. You could even make payment arrangements. But there's volumes 1, volumes 2 together. And then if you do volume 3, which is the affiliate program, that gives you 1 and 2 with it. So it just all depends on what your pockets are. But for both, you can make payment arrangements. The high ticket, it's a free webinar, 90 minutes. You watch that. That sets the motion for that. Make sure everything that you enter is accurate, and you'll start getting the emails and the information for you to be able to take the next step. So I'll tell you, digital products, ebooks, planners, templates, you're able. Just guess what? Believe in yourself. Pray. Think about what you want to do. Write down what it is you want for your family, and you can do it. And guess what? Ebony Kiana, Nurse Entrepreneur, is here. I'm still on the journey. I'm still learning so much. Amazon review, Amazon influencer, TikTok shop, TikTok affiliate, stocks, trading, low ticket, low risk trading with Morgan Stanley. I have dyslexia, so sometimes I say things backwards. I think it's Stanley Morgan. I want to say Stanley Morgan, because this is something new that I'm actually working on. And it's so much. Yeah, Morgan Stanley. It's so much. Ways to create multiple streams of income. virtual call center, if that's what you want to do, virtual travel agent, vending machine business, if you want to learn how to repair credit so people can pay you to repair their credit. You learn how to do it and then you go ahead and apply. If you want to start your own podcast, if you want to learn how to monetize on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, the sky's the limit. If you want to learn how to do UGC, which is user generated content, which is basically recording videos and doing reviews for things that's in your house that you buy anyway. Companies are willing to pay real people to do reviews instead of paying thousands of dollars to run a commercial on TV. Things are changing. Since COVID, things are changing. There are so many ways that you can make money from home and you can supplement your income. If you're interested in learning how to run ads on Facebook for companies, you could get paid up front, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000, $3,500, $6,000, just depending. You learn how to run ads. You learn these things and then you're able to get paid to do that for other companies, other people. If you're interested in writing ebooks, what are you good at? Are you good at gardening? Are you a mechanic? Are you an artist? Do you sing? Do you dance? Do you, you're interested in having your own daycare business? Or you want to be a virtual teacher? I mean, sky's the limit. There's so much. So I have so many things that I'm doing, that I'm learning, and I'm making money, and I'm able to share that with you guys. So this is going to be one of the videos to document what I'm going to be doing. Several things, but this is one of the aspects and areas of my life. So please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you like this video. Make sure that you share it with others. Leave me some feedback. Let me know, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself. I'm Ebony Kiana. Let me know who you are. What is it that you want for your family? And I will be sure to respond back to the comments. Please keep it positive and upbuilding. I want the spaces that I'm associated with to be safe spaces for people to share their thoughts, their feelings, their desires, their fears, things like that. But what is it that you want for your family? Where do you see yourself? How would you like to spend more time with your family and to be able to make more money? And then to help people do the same thing, we have to give back. You could go through life and be greedy. You could go through life and be selfish, but how rewarding is that? And then, regardless of whether you believe in God or not, He is watching. He is watching. He is keeping score. And guess what? God has a perfect memory. God's memory far surpasses computers. Computers, memory, phones, you got to buy more memory, more space. God's memory never fills up. He does not forget a thing. So you have, it's good to learn. It's good to be able to get paid for what you do, but then you're able to pay it forward and you're able to help other people do the same. So just realize that you can do what it is you want to do. And if you are interested in supplementing your income, then subscribe to my channel, because guess what? Your girl is going to be, I'm preparing to do webinars. I'm preparing to do master classes. I'm preparing to do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, answering questions, Q&As, all of that, because I've learned so much. And I've got books where I've written stuff down. I'm keeping track. I'm taking notes, reading books, listening to audios. And I never thought that I would ever be an entrepreneur. But guess what? This is deep in my heart and I can't ignore it. So this is what has happened to this nurse. This is what's happened to me. And I'm so honored to be able to finally have the guts to come forward and share my thoughts. Just to let you know, also within the digital space, I have a podcast, Sporadic Flow Podcast. Me and two of my homegirls, Teresa and Zeline. Coincidentally, we're all three nurses, but it's Sporadic Flow Podcast, Nurses Empowering the Community. We have a Facebook page, we have a YouTube page, so check that out. I'll put that link in the description below, Sporadic Flow Podcast. Look at some of our videos. We talk about medical concerns, we talk about medical topics, but we make it personal, we make it fun, we make it friendly. And then we also have a spinoff, Sporadic Flow Podcast After Dark. That one we're just getting started, but it's more of the laid back. It may be medically based sometimes, but it's mainly us chilling, because we've got 3 episodes of that. And those 3 episodes is easy for me to remember because the first one was Kanye West, because he's addicted to whippets. He's been doing that since 2018. The second episode was Wendy Williams and her aphakic dementia and her lymphedema. And then the third episode was Sean Puffy Combs. Take that, Mr. Take that, take that. So it's just good for us to be able to come together and to be able to talk and share these things. And we would like for you guys to learn, give us feedback, even on Sporadic Flow Podcast. Subscribe to that, watch the videos, comment, even if you got to watch it little by little, but let us know what you think. If you have any ideas, any concerns, anything, any type of material you would like to see, any content you would like for us to create medically, go ahead and let us know. Between all 3 of us, we have over 30 years of nursing experience. So that's pretty dope. So being able to wear multiple hats, being able to be of benefit in multiple areas, that's the dope part about it. So check us out. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear the feedback, and I'll see you in the next video.